All right, this is going to be episode 1 in a multi-part series. I'm going to post for S&P Futures users on orientating yourself with Sierra Chart. This is a extremely powerful platform, but has a decent learning curve to it. It definitely is not the most intuitive and user-friendly platform to use, but it's going to offer you ability to customize and kind of make your own system in ways that you don't get that out of other platforms out there. So the first step you need to take, I think, is understanding how it operates. So it's a isolated software within a single directory, meaning like it's installed C drive Sierra Chart. Everything for Sierra Chart is in this folder. I could put this on a flash drive, take it somewhere, and open it up, and it would be the exact same. So if you're going to install multiple versions of Sierra Chart, you can install multiple versions and have them in their own folders, have them on different data feeds, however you'd like to do that. Going through kind of how these folders work though, so this is your source code. This is if you want to go in there and program something of your own. It's got a whole bunch of good example code. These alert sounds will allow you to create your own custom alerts and then set custom noises. So if you want to say overnight high has been broken, you could say have a text to speech, say overnight high has been broken, put it in there as a file, and then set an alert within Sierra Chart to trigger that sound when the overnight high is broken. So that's where all of your alert sounds are. So you can see like it's got some example ones in here. Going into the next big folder, you need to know data. So this is your primary folder you're going to be working with. Within the data folder is where you have most of your content. So these SCIDs and DLYs are all historical and intraday chart data. So you can see like 6BH0, so that's a cable intraday chart. And it's going to have the same symbol as your data feed. So you can probably find, let's see if I have a different data feed in here. Yeah, like this is from when I had Denali. So there's probably multiple CLVs. So anyways, you don't really need to look at these. The only time you're going to have to modify these files is if you're getting a historical download error and you just want to delete and re-download all of your intraday data, which is a kind of a rare occurrence. Now, market depth data, this is going to be if you're actually tracking changes in liquidity over time using market depth historical graph tool within the studies. So most of you shouldn't be needing that. And then the chart book groups, this is going to be how Sierra Chart breaks down everything. So the main data folder is going to hold all of your chart books. So if I go and I look at, let's see if I can find one, cl.cht. So this is the CL chart book. CHT signifies it's a chart book. And if I go into my Sierra chart and I go File, Open Chart Book, I can see it's right there because it's going to Sierra Chart data and it's locating all of my chart books. So I can see cl.cht. If I open that up, it'll open up all of the charts associated within that book. Now, another way to go about it is a chart book group. That's this folder here. If you go into here, you can see I have AC1, ACW. If I go into AC1, I've got 3 charts. So what that allows me to do is if I open a chart book group, I see chart book groups, AC1, ACW, and it's going to open up every chart within that folder. So if I open up the AC1 chart book group, it's going to open up BUB, DOMS, ES, all at the same time. So that can speed up the process as you add more markets to your tool belt or more chart books or whatever the case may be. So really the key components you need to understand about the data folder, it's going to include all of your chart books, all of your intraday and historical market data, which you don't ever really have to touch unless you have to debug something. And then it's going to have all of your studies. And by what I mean by studies is if I go user contributed studies, the 32 and the 64 DLLs. So that's the custom studies that are in here. So if you ever get a custom study, you're going to put it into this folder. And that's about it. Rest of these you don't really have to worry about. The only other one that's crucial is RIM. So this is your Rithmic certs. And if you are having issues connecting to Rithmic, you can go to the Sierra Chart website and they're going to offer you a download link because you're going to have to download and replace this folder manually to get Rhythmic's new certificates. The rest of it you don't really have to worry about, and that's about it. So let's move into the actual platform. Obviously, this is your main window you're going to have. You've got kind of two separate toolbars up here. You've got your main static toolbar, and then this is more of a dynamic one that you can customize and put all over the place and kind of make it fit how you'd like. So this right here can be put onto any chart you'd like. It can be on a chart, on a different window, on the main window. This guy is a little bit different. This is going to be the main, I guess you could call it home screen for Sierra Chart. So just going over kind of generally how this works, your file, this is for creating any new tabs, new chart books, saving stuff, just kind of like how you'd use it on Microsoft Word, just for creation, saving, closing. You've got obviously recent chart books and all that good stuff. If we go to edit, this is going to be once you actually have something to work with. Once you have a chart open, it's going to allow you just to, this is the most useful feature, honestly. Copy chart image, that's kind of clutch. But for the most part, you really shouldn't have to use this all that much. This will be probably the most useful tab, one of the most useful. And this is going to be where you have all of your different settings relative to the chart that you currently have selected. This is analysis, so this is actually going to let you build custom studies, process them, as well as if you have a whole bunch of studies on a chart and you'd like to save that so you can apply it whenever you want, you can save it as a collection and apply it onto any chart you'd like. So we'll show you how those work later. Tools, this is just your drawing tools, your rectangles, your Fibos, everything like that. Spreadsheet, don't worry about spreadsheet unless you want to get into spreadsheet trading. If that's the case, then you can go on a separate endeavor into how those operate. This is probably the second most important, if not one of the most important. So right now, make sure you have this checked or this checked, just to make sure you're not putting in some crazy random orders. That would be bad. Then you're going to want to go through these separate tabs and just make sure everything's how you'd like it. A common one is in general trade settings. Just this can be useful if you'd like to have the Sierra chart save your actual fills, which can be useful if you're going to be using multiple devices, so you don't get like weird sync errors. And then this guy's good to have on, and that guy's good to have on, meaning if you actually have a stop loss or you have brackets set up or anything like that, it's gonna keep them on the server side in case your account or your power goes out or something like that. And then this can be useful for scaling out and scaling in. Apart from that, these are also on the control bar, but if you want to find them, you can do it this way as well. And that's just going to show you like trade activity log. Okay, let's see if I can find this. Yeah, so that's just here. You can see it automatically pulls up a product, dates, sim. You can go in, it's got like different stats based off the chart, based off general trade activity, and it's more or less useful for importing to like TraderView or something like that. So you shouldn't have to worry about that too much. And we can go into, this is somewhat useful. So this is cool if you want to have like a daily loss limit in here. So you can come in here and say, oh, it's not applying, 240. So you could say like $500 is your daily loss limit. And then once you hit that, it'll just lock your trading for the day. Obviously, you can go back in and reset and unlock it, but it's gonna, at least maybe if you're someone who doesn't want to look at their P&L, it's gonna help you with that side of things. Just to keep you from doing something crazy, going on tilt. So now if we're heading into global settings, this is gonna be a difference. So if any other chart tab you have open, you won't see this one. Global settings is exclusive to what I would call the home main Sierra chart window. And when you change settings in here, it's gonna offer you to change these guys and then your global graphic settings. So the main ones in here are going to be your keyboard shortcuts, which are your hotkeys, and then your graphic settings and your trade data settings. Obviously, this is going to be where you're actually setting up your data. And then within the keyboard shortcuts, you can come in here and set all the keyboard shortcuts you want, but we're going to have a separate little class or video on that. And that's about it. So next up, we're going to be getting into how to actually make charts and modify them. But this is just in a general brief of how all these tabs work and kind of how the filing system works.